I'm really excited about the conversation we're about to have. Our guest today is Brett Rayl. Brett is the executive director of Christ Bible Insitute in Japan, Nagoya, Japan. And I'm really excited about having a conversation about how God has brought him to this place, because we love to have people tell their story, but also about what God is doing there and the unique joys and struggles of the work of the gospel in Japan. So, Brett, welcome. It's good to have you with us.
Thanks so much. It's so good to be with you.
Good. What I'd like to do is have you walk back to your earliest memory as a child. Talk about your home, what it was like growing up there, where you grew up, and I'll just interrupt with questions along the way.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was born in Virginia, and then my parents separated when I was like 3 years old. My father was an alcoholic, and when right before my sister was born, the marriage ended. And my mom needed a fresh start, and she was kind of in crisis and kind of didn't know what she was going to do with these two little kids. And she cried out to the Lord, had not been walking closely with the Lord, although she always believed in Jesus. And so it ended up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My grandparents had a condo that they intended to retire in there. And so she wanted us to be near our grandparents, and that just seemed like the most natural place to go.
So let me interject. Do you have any memory of that breakup or?
No, I was so young. I have this like kind of faint picture where I'm like, it might have been in that scene. It might have been even of my father, but I've had no connection to my father over the years since they had a divorce.
Well, talk about that. What that has meant for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up, it meant a lot of pressure on my mom. And it was really significant for us as we moved to South Carolina. Really was a come to Jesus moment for her. And she was committed to getting us in the church, and basically cried out kind of Hannah's prayer and saying, "These are your children, Lord, I give them back to you." And, if you'll help me get through this, then they are yours. So the Lord answered that prayer. And, one of the things she did was I started going to a Christian preschool at this Baptist church in the middle of Myrtle Beach. And I came home talking about how much I loved the pastor who had done these devotions and for us, and really had just gotten down on our level and talked to us. And so my mom had been visiting churches and just couldn't find a place. And the church where I was going to preschool was kind of far, so she wasn't planning to go there. Decided to visit on a Sunday. And the pastor, a brother named Dr. Wayne Brown, just preached the love of God incessantly. I mean, he's just a walking love bomb. And it was really, really just his gift. And so it really was go ahead.
Let me stop you again. I think we want to just recognize the commitment of God and the power of God to bring good things out of tragedy.
Amen.
Think of your mom. Think of, apart from the draw of God's grace, the terrible choices she could have made as a devastated, hurt woman. I mean, she could have trashed her life and yours.
Absolutely.
But God drew her to himself. And then it's no accident that this love bomb pastor comes into your life.
It's exactly the pastor that she needed. She grew up in a kind of hellfire and brimstone church and had kind of walked away from church feeling like it was a place that she didn't belong. And all of a sudden it was like, no, actually, you do belong.